Hey guys, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. Friday's here, so it's time to do a recap of the games I've been playing. I've got one more game to share with you guys that I played while I was on my break, and it's one that's been on my backlog for quite a while. It's an Xbox 360 title, and I'm glad that I finally got a chance to play it. Had a lot of fun with it, and that was Lost Planet 3. Really awesome game. Definitely a must-play if you're a fan of the Lost Planet games. I do recommend all three titles. Now, this one is actually a prequel to the original Lost Planet, and it goes into how the humans went to EDN3 and their efforts to colonize the planet to earn all of the T energy, and it goes into the history a little bit, and it just was really cool to be able to play a prequel to Lost Planet 1. So if you're going for a story one, you want to play Lost Planet 3, then Lost Planet 1, then Lost Planet 2. So you get the full story of the three games because they are all connected. There are some characters from Lost Planet 1 that are actually in this game, which is really cool, so it does connect the two games together. Really awesome. Read you guys some back. Survival is not enough. As a new arrival to the foreboding alien planet of EDN3, you must fight for your family, your colony, and your dignity as the fate of all humanity hangs in the balance. Go beyond survival. Intense cinematic experience. Return to extreme conditions. There was 10-person online multiplayer, and there's visceral shooter gameplay on foot and mechanized mayhem in the utility rig. So what's really cool is there's third-person aspect, and there's also first-person when you control a rig. Now, you play the main character here as Jim Payton, and the game begins with the story where he's an old man, and he's with his granddaughter Diane. He's explaining how he got to the planet and what happened, and so the game takes place through his story. And so as you're playing the game, you know, it's the story is explained to his granddaughter, and that's where the game takes place. It's really cool. This feels a lot like Dead Space mixed in with it. The third person has really tight controls, a wide variety of weapons, has really cool music. There's actually music in the rig you can listen to. Jim has some music that his wife gave him, and so while you're running around in the rig, you can actually listen to that music at times, but there is the environmental music, and the game feels a lot more horror-based than the previous Lost Planet games. You know, the creatures, the arachnids, or the acrids on EDN3 feel a lot more alien than they did in like Lost Planet 1 or 2, and so they do feel more alien-like, and so there are some pretty freaky moments, some nastiness, some great violence. There's some boss fights, there's a main story to do, but there's also side stuff you can do as well, and then of course there's different difficulty settings which you can get if you beat it on the hardest difficulty. I recommend playing it on normal, as that gives you just the right amount of balance, because the game can be kind of difficult with some of the boss battles, but it's a really fair challenge at that, and I had a really fun time with it. I do have to warn you though, there are a couple glitches and bugs in this. Like there was an enemy that I encountered, this crab enemy, that the back refused to break off him like it's supposed to, and so I was reading some online guides, and somebody had recommended throwing a grenade in its mouth when it screams, but you're only given a couple opportunities with that boss battle, and so I had to do that and able to beat it. It took me like 35 minutes, and it should have been over in like 5 or 10 minutes. So there is a couple little bugs like that still, but besides that though, it's a really fun and enjoyable experience. So let's check a look at Lost Planet 3. Alright guys, today we're playing Lost Planet 3. Now this game's been on my backlog for many years, and I thought this was the perfect time to play it because I just beat Lost Planet 1 this year, and I beat Lost Planet 2 finally. Two games that were also on my backlog. And this one's always intrigued me because it's actually a prequel to the original Lost Planet. It talks about why humans went to this EDN3 planet, because Earth's resources are being exhausted, and so humans have had to go out into space to try to find new energy to bring back for Earth. And they discovered this planet with the T energy and the acrid creatures, and that they could harvest it from them. So this kind of explains all about how this planet is being colonized, and eventually, you know, it leads into the events of Lost Planet 1 and 2. So it's really cool being a prequel, and it's one that I've always wanted to beat and check out. Now, there is a DLC you can buy for it. Some of it is for multiplayer stuff, but I'm here for the campaign. That's the only reason I want to play these games, is just for the story, which I really have been enjoying so far. Now, what's interesting about this game, though, is that the save file system is a little different than the previous Lost Planet games. There's just these autosaves. There's no one where you can save yourself. So you have like the latest autosave, and then there's one that takes place a little bit before that save. So you do have to be mindful of these saves when you're trying to unlock certain things in the game. So let's check out. It does have great music, has great voice acting, really good graphics too, because this game is backwards compatible on the Xbox One and Series consoles, and I'm playing it here on my Series X. And I was actually given a free copy of this digitally thanks to my Xbox Live Gold membership, and I do own a physical copy as well, but it's nice that I don't have to pop the disc in or have to take the time to install the game, since it's been installed on my external hard drive for many years now. But I do love the graphics. And in this area here, where our base is, in these ice caves, it kind of reminds me of Star Wars and the Hoth, where they had that ice base there, which is pretty cool. Now, a lot of people did kind of compare this to like Dead Space, which it does control similar with the third-person perspective. This one has a lot more of a horror feel to it. You know, you feel a little freaked out by the acrid creatures. It's not as action-packed as the other Lost Planet games. There's also a menu system where he brings up, similar to like Dead Space here, where you can have your main missions. You also have side missions that you can go on to. So there are some kind of open world aspects to the game where you can go out and explore stuff. There's the cool map here, but you can also do the world map that you can check out in different areas you can go on for different missions, because there's the main missions, there's side missions. There's also different weapons for you to find and buy. You can also upgrade them. So you can see there's quite a few that are locked that I don't have. There's also a bunch of collectibles. There's text logs, there's audio logs, and it just goes into different insights of different characters in the world. And there's also some other stuff for you to unlock, emails and stuff. Really cool. But you can run around and explore different areas, finding the collectibles. There's different characters you can talk to.
Any idea how hard it is to keep a hot meal hot around here? Hell, we're still living off MREs. Look, if we want to build morale around here, let me build a hydroponic garden. I got 2 words for you, Jim. Heirloom tomatoes. Think about it.
So yeah, so your main character here, his name is Jim. Now what's interesting about the story is at the very beginning of the game, it's many years in the future. He's like in his 80s, but he's talking to his granddaughter about what happened to him in the past. And so basically you're playing the game as he's telling the story to his granddaughter what happened. And so you have no idea like what's going on in the beginning of the story until you play through the game, and then it'll go back to where they are in the future and you'll figure out what's going on. Which is an interesting thing. There's quite a few games that have done that kind of storytelling where like you're in the very beginning of the game and they're talking about stuff going on, and then the character's like, well, here, let me tell you how we got here, and then it goes back in the past and you play through the whole story to then catch up to where you were in the story. So it's pretty cool. There's also this cool mech vehicle that you have that you use in the game, and you can actually upgrade that. You can also upgrade yourself as well, and you get that through the T energy. So let's go to the main deck, and let's get our rig here, which you can see it there. That's that blue one. And so these mechs are the early version of the VS ones that you used in Lost Planets 1 and 2. So you can see it there. It's absolutely huge. And what's really cool about it is on the rig, you can actually access here. You can reload your ammo if you need to. You can open up this weapon locker and you can change the different weapons you have. Grenades, that kind of thing. I recently bought a shotgun. I found this assault rifle. And then you also have a pistol, which you can use. You also can get into this rig by using B, and he slimes right up into it. And then it goes into a first-person mode, which is pretty cool. So when you control the mech, you're actually in first-person view. And you can control the different arms that can do different things. Now, there's no weapons on these, unlike in the Lost Planet 1 or 2, you know, those ones, the vehicles had weapons, but in this world, the Corporation Nevik does not allow these vehicles to have weapons yet because they don't think they need them and they don't think they should, so you're not able to actually use them. But you can leave this home base and then you go out onto your different missions. You can do the main story, or you can go through and do side stuff, which I've currently been working on doing my side missions. And then the game does have little loading sections, so it'll load into the next area that you go to. And there are various cutscenes that'll play as you play through the story, which, you know, will continue the story on, different missions and stuff for you to do. And the world is covered in ice, just like it was in the beginning, just like it was in Lost Planet 1. So this is a prequel to it, you know. The planet is still covered in thick ice and stuff, and so you still do have to worry about freezing to death and all that kind of stuff. Now what's cool is there's actually music which you can listen to. He has a little radio music player list on his rig if you want to. So you can kind of listen to it. So we'll turn it off just in case it's copyrighted or something, but it's kind of neat that it has like music for you. Now you can bring up your menu here, and then it's brought up into a bigger area, and you can get into more stuff. You know, you can check out your map and see where you need to go, check out your weapons, all the collectibles you found. There's different mail you get from your wife, and then it talks about the music player here and different music you have. Keeps track of your T energy, because that is your currency, which you use to buy weapons, upgrade weapons and stuff, and you get that from killing enemies. Also, when you complete missions and objectives, you will get more of the money. And you can set, like, oh, I want to have this be the one I'm going after, I want to have this that I'm going after. And so the game takes place with the vehicle, but it also takes place on foot, because you do have to get out of your vehicle because they can't go everywhere. And so I do like being able to go at your own pace, and you can play through the story if you want to. You can stop and do side stuff if you want to. You can go and kill enemies to earn XP, you know, to earn T energy to level up. You know, the kind of stuff you can do on your own. If you want to do a little grinding, you can. You want to go through the story, you can.
That's Jim, one more thing. There's a pump jack near the fueling depot that's frozen clean over. It's on your way to Shackleton's Peak, roughly.
So there's some of the acre creatures, so let's get out and take care of those assholes.
You can consider that a standing contract. Anytime you see a frozen pump jack, just clear it off and invoice me later.
So see, if you kill them, then you can grab the T energy that they draw. And something that was a nice improvement from the other Lost Planets is holding the left trigger actually zooms in. You don't have to use the D-pad anymore like you did in those games. So that was one thing I think they did improve upon. And there's a variety of aprids that you'll fight, including boss battles. There are some bosses. I've already fought a few of them, and some of them have been a little challenging at times. But just really cool playing this game. You can see the how they're inspired by Dead Space. So it does have plays a little similar to Dead Space. And I know a lot of people kind of hated on this game when it was first released. But I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's something that's actually really cool. And it's definitely one I think you guys should give a try to, especially if you're a fan of the Lost Planet games. If you like Lost Planet 1 and 2, you know, you ought to give Lost Planet 3 a try. It's a cool prequel. It plays different than the first 2 Lost Planet games, but it's definitely one that I think is really fun, and it's one that I've really enjoying, and it's one I recommend using a strategy guide for. See, here's some missions you can do with the rig.
Damn thing's broken. Shout.
So like I said, there's some random encounters you can do. You can find these little side missions and stuff. It's just a really fun game that I think you guys should definitely check out. I can't wait to play and beat this, as I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's definitely one that I think you guys should check out as well. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that look at Lost Planet 3. I had a lot of fun with it. It took me a little over 20-something hours to beat this game, but I had an absolute blast with it. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Lost Planet games. It is backwards compatible on the Series X, so that's where I played it on. All 3 Lost Planet games actually work on there, which is awesome, and I definitely recommend playing through and beat it. You'll really enjoy the story. I like that it's really heavily story-focused game, especially compared to Lost Planet 2, which there was some story, but it was more about playing different factions. This one, you know, you play as Jim Payton the whole time, and it talks about how he works for Nevik, and if you guys have played the other Lost Planet games, you guys know who the Nevik Corporation is, and it goes into details like that. Just a really fun game that I definitely think you guys should check out. And then I also had played and beat Lost Planet 2 right before I played Lost Planet 3. Now, I'm not going to show any gameplay of it, but I had a lot of fun with this one as well. Now, this one, like I said, is where you play as multiple factions, sequel to Lost Planet 1, and it just ramps up the battles, bigger boss battles and stuff, and you can actually play it 4-player co-op. Really awesome game. Highly recommend all 3 Lost Planet titles. Definitely worth playing. Like I said, if you want to play it through for the story-wise, you know, play Lost Planet 3, then play Lost Planet 1, and then finish up with Lost Planet 2 to get the full story and trilogy. But it's a really awesome series. I had a lot of fun with it, and I definitely think you guys should check them out. Love to hear about the games you guys are playing. You guys know that I'm always interested in the games you guys have been playing lately. I also am looking for any recommendations on a game you guys might think I might enjoy. So please keep those coming. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have a great day, and Sleepy will see you next time.